we're going to multiply those two binomials to find the area of the big square. Okay, let's see how we did. So we multiply these. We're going to do the 2x times the 3 to get 6x squared. Then the 3 times this 3, which is negative 9x. Then the 2x times the 4, which is 8x. And then the negative 3 times the 4 to get negative 12. Now something new is we're adding that little circle to the middle just so we can combine those like terms. We'll end up with like terms sometimes. So we want to combine the negative 9 and the 8. They're opposite signs, so I'm going to subtract and get negative 1 or negative x. So the area of this whole square is the 6x squared minus the x, and then minus 12. And then we'll do the other one very quickly. 2x minus 1, 4x plus 3. We have our 8x squared negative 4x. This is 6x and negative 3. Do you guys agree with all that? Did I multiply well? Okay, good. So once again, we just want to combine those like terms in the middle. The 6 and the negative 4. Once again, they're opposite signs, so I'm going to subtract and get a positive 2 because the 6 is bigger. So my trinomial now is 8x squared plus the 2x minus 3 and that is the area of that square. Any questions over that? Yes?
So if it's opposite signs, you just combine them?
Opposite signs you subtract. If they're the same sign you add.
Okay.
If they're the same, okay, these are like terms because they're the same x variable and the exponent. Is that what you're asking? Okay. Any questions? Okay. So we're going to go on and now we're going to factor. Now, you guys have a blank page in your notes that I want you to use right now. Okay. It's just on the other side. Flip it over. Okay, because I'm going to have you guys write down a lot of things to help you remember all the tricks of factoring, okay? And I want to have lots of room to do it. So we're going to do one example here. Yes? You don't have a blank page? Are you sure? On the back of your 2-4 notes. Or 2, what page is that? Yeah, 2-4 should, on the back of 2-4 is blank? That's good? Okay. We're going to do either. Oh, did it like me? Let's see if I can do this. No, didn't want to do that. Try it one more time. Nope, okay. Well, I'll go to my blank page and copy it down. Thank you. On your blank page, write it down and draw the square. Fill a circle in it. I'll wait for you guys to draw the picture. If at any time I'm going too fast, please just ask me to slow down. Okay, I want you to copy all of this. We won't have to show as much work the whole time, but I want to just get lots of information here for you guys. Okay, so if we look back to when we were multiplying, I gave you the side lengths. Now I'm going to be giving you guys the area. Okay. And we're kind of working backwards to get what this is. Anybody ever watch Jeopardy? Right? They give this whole long explanation and then all the contestants say, what is cheese? Or what is the Pythagorean theorem? Okay. They're giving you the answer and they're wanting you to give them the question. That's what Jeopardy people are doing. They're giving the question. That's kind of what I'm doing here. And now when we're factoring, I'm giving you what our answer was, and I'm asking you, what did I ask you to multiply to get that answer? So we're going to work backwards. Okay, so here, when I multiply these together, in that first box, that area of that box was the squared variable. So that's exactly what I'm going to put here. So I'm going to have the 4x squared here. Then if you look back, the number by itself was in that box. And then our middle term, remember that came from combining the two other boxes, and I put that in the circle. So right now, I don't know what goes in this box and this box, okay? So right now, when we're factoring, you're going to do a little bit of guessing and checking. You're going to guess what numbers you think it will be and see if it actually is happening, okay? So at first, we want to know what multiplied to the 4x squared. So let's see, 2x and 2x multiply to 4. I'm guessing this. Okay, that's your first step. You're going to guess what multiplied to the 4x squared. And we guessed 4x, or sorry, 2x and 2x. Okay? Next thing we're going to do. What other number do you think I'm going to try and multiply to? The 3. Okay? Guess what I multiplied, what multiplied to 3? This is super easy because what multiplies to 3? Only 1 and 3, right? Okay, it doesn't matter where I put the 1 and 3 right now. I'm just going to put them somewhere. So I'll put the 1 up here and the 3 here. So my next step now is step 3. Check to see if you will get that 7x in the middle. Okay, so if I have these numbers, will I get the middle term of 7x? Oh, let's check. Some of you are ahead of me. Okay. So if I multiplied the 1 and the 2, I get 2x. Okay, if I multiplied the 2 and the 3, I'll get 6x. Right here, this is a positive 3. And that positive 3 tells me I'm adding. Okay. If this is a -3 here, then I would be subtracting to get that 7. But since it's a +3, I know I'm going to add to get the 7. Okay. And we already determined, do 2 and 6 add to 7? No. Okay, so now I'm going to try again. I'm going to do the same steps again. I'm going to draw another box right below it. You don't have to keep drawing the box over and over again. You can just erase the numbers, but I want you to see the work we did when you come back to it for your notes, for your homework, okay? So I'll demonstrate how you guys can do it in your notes. In your homework. Okay, so we still have the 4x squared, the 7x, and the 3. I still don't have a lot to choose from the 3, right? What multiplies the 3 again, guys? Okay, 1 and 3. And so I know those have to be a 1 and a 3 at some point. Okay. But I can look back here. I used 2 and 2. Is there another way to get 4? 4 times 1, right? So I do 4x and x. Actually, I want to do it the other way. You've got to be kidding me. Okay, let's try that again. Okay, there we go. Okay, phew, thought it like totally deleted everything. I'm gonna put the 4x here and the x here. Okay, so we're gonna go through those steps again. I guessed to multiply to 4x, I'm guessing to 3, and now I'm gonna check to see if you get the 7x. So I'm gonna multiply the 1 times the 4 and get, so the 1 times the x and get 1x. I'm gonna multiply the 4 times the 3 and get 12x. Again, if I add those middle terms, will I get the 7? No. Okay. Didn't work again, so try again. It won't always be this much work. I'm trying to make this one harder than it really is to show you all the steps you can take. So we're gonna do it again. But we're gonna use this. We still have our 1 and 3 because I know there can't be anything other than 1 and 3. I still know we've already tried 2 and 2. Now we have 4 and 1 still. The only thing I can do now is switch the 4 and the 1. Put the 4x here and the x here and see if that works. So I'm going to do x times x is 4x squared. And this is 3 here, sorry. Or I forgot to put this in. And this is 7x in the middle. Okay, so then we're going to do the 1 times the 4 and get 4x. Then I'm gonna do the 1 times the 3 and get 3x. Oh, this works, right? Now if I add them, I get the 7x in the middle. Okay, so that means to get the signs to see if this is a +1 or a -1, you just take whatever sign this is. So this is a positive, so you have to move the positive up here. This 3 is positive, so you have to make the 3 positive here. You're going to get the sign from the closest box. So the closest box is the 4, and it's positive, so this is positive. Here, the closest box is 4, and it's positive, so this is positive. Closest box, positive. Closest box, positive. Make sense? Okay, so my factors, that's what we all did here. Is x plus 1 times 4x plus 3. Or you can write it the other way. The 4x plus 3 times the x plus 1. Doesn't matter. Any questions over that? Okay, now I've thoroughly made you super excited about tonight's homework. Let's do a couple more problems. Okay. So we just did E, so we're not going to do that one, but we're going to do this one. Let's write it in. This is x squared. The middle box is negative 14x, and this is 33. Okay, so we're going to multiply. Class, what multiplies to the x squared? X times x, right? X times x gives me x squared. Oh, 33 is a good number. Okay, because what multiplies to 33? 11 and 3. Okay, so now we're going to check. So we have the 11 times the x. So that's 11x. And this is x times 3, which gives me 3x. Okay, so then we check it. Remember here, this is add to get the middle term. Of negative 14x. Right now, the way it's written, if I add those two, I'll get a positive 14. How do I add them and get a negative 14? Yep. I need them both to be a negative. Very good. So I need the 11 to be negative and then 3 to be negative. Because that will now combine to the negative 14. And then if I multiply the negative 11 times the negative 3, I'll get a positive 33. Okay, and then for the sign, remember this is the closest one to it. So that is a negative 11. This is the closest one to it, so this is a negative 3. So my factors are x minus 3 times x minus 11. Or the length and the width of my box. Any questions over that? Okay. Next one. Why don't you guys try that one on your own in your pairs? Oh, actually, I think we're gonna need to do this one together because it has the negative 28. So we're gonna make sure we can do this. Okay, so once again, class, what multiplies to x squared? X and x. Sebastian, what multiplies to negative 28? Okay, let's do 7 and 4 for now, and then we'll decide which one's negative in a second. So then we check it. 7 times x is 7x, and the x times the 4 is 4x. Now this one here, since this is negative, you're going to subtract the middle terms to get positive 3x. Now if I subtract the 4 and the 7, will I get 3? Yes, I need to know which one's going to be negative to get a positive 3. Any ideas? Yeah? The 4 needs to be negative, okay? Four needs to be negative and the 7 needs to be positive. The bigger factor will match the sign of the middle term. So between these two, if you're struggling to determine which one's going to be positive and which one's going to be negative, look at that middle term, look at that 3x, and determine which one of these is bigger, and it gets the same sign. So it's positive, so the 7's positive. That means the 4 needs to be negative. So you have to move that negative out here and have a negative 4, and move that positive out here and make that a positive 7. So we have x minus 4 times x plus 7. Yes. Okay, let's go on to the next one. So we have our 6a squared plus 11a minus 35. This one might take a little bit more guessing and checking here. Okay, so you probably want to do this problem in pencil and not in pen. So if you have a pen, you might want to try and get a pencil because you're going to have to erase a little bit here. Or you may. Elizabeth, what multiplies to our 6a squared? 3 and 2. And again, it doesn't matter where you put the 3 and the 2a at this point. Elizabeth, what multiplies to 35? 7 and 5. Okay, let's check it. 5 and 2 is 10A. 3 and 7 is 21A. Now here, oh, we did this on the first time. Those middle terms are subtracting. Okay. That means one of them needs to be negative. Okay, the bigger number is 21, so it should match the sign. So it should be a positive 21. That means the 10 has to be negative. And so when I pull this out, this should be a negative 5, and this should be a positive 7. Right, because 21 minus 10 is 11, correct? Okay. So my factors are 3A minus 5, and then 2A plus 7. Any questions over that? Okay. Now I want you guys in your pairs to do the next two. So let's check how we did. It's just taking a moment to let me write here. Nope. Let's give it a moment. It's getting tired. Nope, still doesn't want to let me write. How about here? Nope. So we have our x squared, negative 14x, and negative 32. We should have x, and most of you came up with the 16 and the 2. The 16 needed to be negative because the middle term was negative, and the bigger number gets that sign. So 2 is positive and the 16 is negative. So my factors were x plus 2 times x minus 16. Any questions over that? Okay, then the I. Let's go and see how we did with the I. Aaron, what did you guys use for the factors of 12? 3 and 4. Okay, and where did you put the 3 on the top here?
No, we put it on.
Side, okay, 3y and 4y. Good. Okay. And then what did you use for your factors of 20?
5 and 4.
Okay, and so the 5 should go here, and the 4 should go here. And then we check this. This is 15y, and this is 16y. This is a positive y, and we're subtracting. So the 16 needs to be positive, and the 15 needs to be negative. And then I just pull those signs out. So my factors should be the 3y plus the 4 times 4y minus the 5. Everybody check to make sure you had those signs right. If the signs were not correct, fix them now, okay? Because that's going to be a common mistake. You're going to get close, but mess up the sign somewhere, which in math, right, still not right. Doesn't matter how close you are, it's not right. Math is an exact science. Okay, on the back. We have some more to do. Okay, Hibba, what multiplies to the 9b squared? 3b and 3b. Good. Alyssa, what multiplies to 49? 7 times 7. Then we're going to check that. The 7 times the 3 is 21b. The 3 times the 7 is 21b. I know I'm adding. If I add them right now, I'll get a positive 42. Okay, let's see. Brooke, what am I going to do to make it a negative 42? Well, we're going to make both of the 21s negative. They both need to be negative to get a negative 42, right? Because they need to have the same sign, so I'm going to add them. If they were opposite signs, I'd be subtracting. So they both need to be negative in this case, so I get a negative 42. That means this 7 needs to be negative here, and this 7 needs to be negative here. So my factors are 3b minus 7 and 3b minus 7. And look at that, they match. So I can write it like this as well. Three b minus 7 squared. Any questions over that? We're all good? Okay, we're going to skip K and go to letter L. This one's a little different because we have the 9b squared that goes here. And I have the negative 49 that goes here. But I'm missing that middle term. Okay. There's no just a b by itself. There's a b squared and a number, but no b, like 5b or 6b in the middle. Okay, when that happens, that means there's 0 of them. There's 0 b's. Zero. And we factor just like the way we've been factoring. 9b squared can be multiplied. 3b times 3b can get the 9b squared. And then 7 and 7 to get the 49. This tells me that I'm subtracting my middle terms. So I'll get 21b again, and 3 times 7, which is 21b again. Okay, if I subtract the 21 and the 21, will I get 0? Yes, I will. Okay, that means one of them needs to be negative and the other one needs to be positive, so I can subtract. It doesn't matter which one you make. We're just going to try one. Negative, and this is a positive. So my factors are 3b plus 7 and 3b minus 7. This is what we call a difference of squares. Because the numbers are the matching, the signs are just different. This was a perfect square because they matched exactly. Okay. Okay, we're gonna go to n now, because it's another different one. Okay, Chloe, what multiplies to 9c squared? 3c and 3c. Jacob M., what multiplies to 2? 2 and 1. Okay, we guessed, now we're checking. 2 times 3 is 6c. And 3 times 1 is 3c. If I add them, if I add 3 and 6, do I get 5? No. Okay, is there anything else that multiplies to 2? No. Okay, so let's try something else that multiplies to 9. What else multiplies to 9? 9c and 1c. So we gotta try again. Erase and multiply again. 2 times 1 is 2c. 9 times 1 is 9c. If I add them, do I get -5? No. 3 and 6? We just did that, and it didn't work. So we have to erase the 2 and the 1 and switch those places. See if that works. Put the 1 here and the 2 here. Erase and check again. Okay, 1 times 1 is what? 1c. 9 times 2 is 18. Goodness. Didn't work again. Do those add to -5? No. Was there anything else that multiplies to 9? Is there anything else that multiplies to 2? Huh? But that won't change the numbers. It'll just change the signs of them, which still won't work, right? Okay, so when nothing works, this is prime. Now I know what you're thinking. Okay, on your homework, there are 2. So don't come to me on Monday or Tuesday and have like 5 primes on there because you didn't keep guessing and checking. Okay, you can find 2 primes on there. That's it. Any questions? Okay, we need to do this last one together. Sorry, guys. Let's do P. Okay, it says if 3x plus p and x plus q are factors of 3x squared plus 13x plus 14, which of the following must be true? Okay, it looks a lot more complicated than it is. So let's draw our little factoring box. We have our 3x squared, our 13x, and our 14. They're saying that the length is 3x plus p, and the width is x plus q. We want to check to see if this is actually a true statement. When we check, we multiply the p times the x. and get px. When we check here, we multiply the 3x times the q and get 3qx. Now, how do I know if this is correct? Okay, let's look back here. How did I know that this was a correct solution? The middle term, right? These two combine to give me this, right? So that's what they want to do here. These two, px plus 3qx should combine to get that middle term of 13x. Okay, so which one demonstrates that? Is it A? No. Is it B, P plus Q equals 13? No. Is it P plus 3Q equals 13? Yes. The 3Q and the P.